same day that the number of first-time filers for unemployment benefits hit a level not seen in a quarter century. Today we got a glimpse of why the Republican Party is willing to kill the domestic auto industry, even if, or perhaps because, it will add hundreds of thousands of union members to the unemployment lines. Our fourth story tonight, after the House last night passed the $14 or $15 billion auto bailout bill with stronger support than expected, Senate Republicans announced their intention to kill the thing. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, who helped pass the $700 billion bank bailout, today broke with the White House, even after Mr. Bush won several concessions on the Democratic auto bailout. McConnell instead throwing his support behind a new rival Republican plan, a plan from Tennessee Senator Bob Corker that focuses largely on even more concessions from workers, the UAW, apparently playing on the myth that the big three automakers are hurting because their workers are vastly overpaid compared to foreign automakers here in the States.
They have to agree to have a contract in place that puts them on parity with companies like Toyota and Nissan and Volkswagen and other companies here in our country.
For the record, Corker's home state is also home to a new Volkswagen plant, and it's the U.S. headquarters of Nissan. Kentucky, Mr. McConnell's state, is home to Toyota's biggest plant in the world outside Japan. And for UAW workers to achieve parity with the Toyota workers in Kentucky, the UAW workers would need a raise. In 2006, most UAW workers got no bonuses and averaged $27 an hour. Counting their bonuses, non-union Toyota workers in Kentucky made $30 an hour. Nissan workers in Tennessee made $26 an hour, not including their bonuses. So why drive union wages lower? Corker's plan would help the companies in his state fight off UAW attempts to unionize because the union would no longer offer competitive wages. That helps foreign automakers at the expense of American automakers. Helping foreign automakers not only helps their states, it also helps their future campaigns. Take Senator Richard Shelby, ranking Republican on the Banking Committee. Shelby not only also has significant foreign automakers in his state, Alabama, but he also, just like McConnell and Corker, has fought off Democratic candidates who enjoyed significant financial support, according to the Detroit Free Press, from the United Auto Workers. Joining us tonight, Daniel Gross, senior editor of Newsweek magazine, writing on this issue for Monday's edition. Mr. Gross, thanks for your time tonight.
Good to be here, thanks.
Is the auto bailout dead, and thus are GM and Chrysler dead?
I don't think it's quite dead. It's certainly on life support. Bob Corker, who you spotlighted there, has floated a proposal basically saying, as part of this, he wants to micromanage how the union's going to get paid, how the auto workers are going to get paid, and said if you're willing, the union, to take a big haircut on your wages, and if the debtors, the people to whom GM owns money, are willing to take a big haircut on their debt by March 30th, then we'll think about giving you this small bit of aid.
But why this obsession with union haircuts? Where are the cuts in executive wages? Not the bonuses, just the wages. Where were the caps on banking wages for workers or executives in that bailout? Well,
we didn't have any there, and I think there is this sort of obsession with these senators who are largely from the South with unions. It could be because they conflate it with the Union from Civil War days, but we just know that Richard Shelby, Senator of Alabama, Corker, McConnell, they do not like big labor. They're seeing this crisis almost as a way to kind of kill off the UAW. If they can basically negotiate through this bill and say to them, you're no longer going to be the guarantor of your members' wages, it does an awful lot to weaken them, not just with the big three, but anywhere else they want to organize.
Leaving the senators' motives aside and just putting that in the realm of speculation, what are the predictable results for the union workers if Senators Shelby and Corker were to have their way?
Well, look, there's a doomsday scenario here. You remember from the Cold War, mutually assured destruction. It's crossed the wires this evening that GM has already hired bankruptcy counsel. So a filing of Chapter 11 is not out of the picture. If they don't get aid the next 3 to 4 weeks, they said that could be a possibility. The challenge is when you go into bankruptcy, you need what's called debtor-in-possession financing, a bank to lend you money so you can keep the lights on, keep the stores open. In ordinary times, a store can get that. In extraordinary times like this, where the store is GM that needs many billions, that market is sort of shut off. So the big fear is there would be liquidation. They would have to sort of shut down hundreds of thousands of people out of work just in time for Christmas.
So what then happens? I mean, as you pointed out, GM bringing in this team to look at the legal ramifications of bankruptcy protection. Is Bush in the interim going to dip into the overall bailout for the money to prevent that, or is he willing to risk adding the death of the icon GM to his legacy, or are there other outcomes?
I'm sorry,
here?
did you say Bush?
Yeah, I'm sorry, yes.
He's still there?
Yeah, he's still, no, he hasn't.
I think the person to look to is Henry Paulson, the Treasury Secretary. I don't think he wants it on his, going out the door that not only did the financial system explode, but the post-war industrial system exploded. So there's money with that bailout funds, things that he could potentially do. They don't want to do it, but there is maneuverability there.
The Bush bailout, contrary to rumors, has not yet taken place officially. Daniel Gross of Newsweek, great thanks for your insight tonight, sir.
Thanks for having me.